Hey everybody, it's Daniel here from Infravest. Hope you're all doing well. So I got an interesting article here for you. It's on the Dimester, the Jamie Dimon. For those who don't know, he runs JP Morgan. And it's very interesting to see how Jamie Dimon sold $150 million of JP Morgan stock. While the stock has been reaching all-time highs, made an all-time high, the stock has been performing well. The indices out there have been also performing well. Yet we see Jamie Dimon coming out and selling $150 million. Let's not forget about Jamie Dimon's track record in terms of his sales and his purchases, which I'll talk about. I'll share my screen and show you that in this video today. But let's not forget about his track record with how he conveys messages, especially in the crypto market, especially related to Bitcoin. Now, if we remember, we've heard Jamie Dimon come out multiple times, trash Bitcoin, right? Call Bitcoin basically a scam, saying that no one should invest in it, and say that multiple times, and then come out all of a sudden saying that okay, we're offering Bitcoin and services to clients who want it, right? And it's very funny because I remember hearing Jamie Dimon saying that if any trader in his company trades Bitcoin, he's going to fire them, or let them go and blah blah blah. He was so negative about Bitcoin. But then all of a sudden to come out and say that, oh, we're offering Bitcoin at our company and blah 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 blah. And then lo and behold, after saying that, he comes out again in I think it's a CNBC session on CNBC. It came out and basically said that, oh, I believe that the SEC or the regulators should basically shut down Bitcoin. It's a scam, a scam. Coming out again and hammering it when his company is selling and promoting Bitcoin on the other hand, right? So the the Dimester, Jamie Dimon, he's really mastered the art of manipulation, right? If you really look at it, he's really good at coming out, saying things, and then doing things behind closed doors, right? Well, it's actually not closed doors. We know what's happening. Um, but the fact that he comes out and says these couple of things and manipulates and sends fear, FUD, uncertainty, doubt, maybe sometimes FOMO, etc., he's really a typical Wall Street, uh, bankster, banker. Sorry, I was gonna say gangster or a thief or something, right? He's a typical Wall Street banker who is cutthroat, who is manipulative, who says one thing but does not own up to his word, and very sly. He's a very sly fox, right? So, if Jamie, if you're watching this, sorry, but I had to say these things because it is the truth. You do come out and you don't stand by your word. You don't come out and you don't, you do things and say things, but your action is completely different, right? So I'm gonna share my screen here. And again, this article comes out from Market Watch, and it's titled "Why Jamie Dimon's Sale of 150 million in JP Morgan stock Could Be Reason for Caution." And it says Diamond sold shares of bank for the first time ever, doing so as part of a trading plan. Okay, so he's got a trading plan. He's a trader all of a sudden now, right? Actually, he's not bad trader too. And again, I'm going to show you a very interesting visual that's going to show how he's a very good trader. But yeah, okay, he's got a trading plan. That's why he's selling. But he's selling for the very first time. Is he old? Is he is he thinking that that's it? He's done um, with J.P. Morgan and done with looking to retire soon? I don't think so. Right? I think there's a bigger picture here. And let's just take a quick look. I'm just curious. How old is Jamie Dimon? Jamie Dimon is 67 years old. Okay. So, you know, you can make a lot of speculation, but let's first go through the article here and discuss more about what the sale has to do with the current environment in the markets. Now, JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon dumped 150 million in the company's stock Thursday in his first ever sale. Recent filing showings he had previously indicated an intent to unload the stock. Diamond sold 821,800 JP Morgan shares at an average price around $182.73 according to filing in the SEC. The sales were made through Rule 10b5-1 trading plan, which allows company insiders like executives, the board members, to arrange for stock to be sold under predetermined conditions. Shares of JP Morgan have been hitting all-time highs in recent days, so it's unclear if these are triggers or if the plan was arranged for sales based on timing, wrote Ben Silverman, the vice president of research at Verity Data, which tracks insider activity. He noted in his report review of stocks daily chart brings up some questions to whether trigger prices were employed. Diamond selling took place for the first day ever that JP Morgan shares traded upwards of 182,000. Sorry, $182. He highlighted. So if you look at JP Morgan stock, here it is. This is how it's been performing since all times, right? It's just been performing quite well. If you see here, this was the dot-com bubble and the bust, and then we had JP Morgan rally up again, rally to the real estate bubble, and then the bust again. So very interesting that in the dot-com era that JP Morgan, the stock, the bank, took a quite of a hit there. If you look at the stock here, let's just take the top here. That's about a 77% drop, and the real estate one was 72%, right? So it makes you think that him selling at 182 around this price here, and the stock hitting all-time highs. Very interesting. That does Jamie Dimon see something that others don't see? Could we see the stock drop around 70% if we are expected to see this upcoming recession, to be really, really bad? And that would bring the stock all the way down to the $50 mark, the $52 mark, right? The COVID pandemic sell off was about 44%, right? So bank stocks do get hit during recessions, and during the last couple ones, like the real estate ones and the dot-com one, it's also surprising to see how JP Morgan stock was hit hard during the dot-com one, more than the real estate one. Makes you think that what will the stock do if we do get some sort of black swan event, some sort of panic selling, some sort of crash, that causes the stock to really plunge, right? So 30% typical, selling of 30% would mean that the stock would hit $130. 40%, 44%, if we take the COVID pandemic kind of sell off, that's about $102 from where it is right now. And if we're talking about 70%, we're taking the stock down to close to $50, right? I'm not saying that the stock's going to do that, so please don't think that I'm predicting that the percentage of how much the stock is going to turn around, but it's just interesting to see with looking at past recessions and past sell-offs, how that could play out in if we were expecting a recession or a sell-off down the road, and especially if Jamie Dimon, the Dimester, is expecting some sort of sell-off to come, right? Because why sell 150 million shares? Why sell for the first time ever $150 million? Why do that? Why sell almost a million shares when your stock is hitting all-time highs? Are you just taking profits, chips off the table? Why didn't you do it back here in 2021? Why didn't you do it here in 2019? Why a million shares now and not these couple of peaks here, right? So um, let's go back to the article. Basically says JP Morgan stock had risen about 30% since Diamond adopted his trading plan, which would be fairly ambitious trigger for the plan with a relatively short duration. The plan expires August 23rd, and Diamond could sell up to 178,000 more shares under it. Diamond last year disclosed the plan to sell up to a million shares for financial. So he's selling for, this is what he said, right? The Dimester, I don't know if you believe him, but the Dimester is saying financial diversification, and he's selling for financial diversification and tax planning purposes. Financial diversification and tax planning purposes. Tax planning purposes. So you're going to take a gain and pay taxes on it. And for tax planning purposes, you you want to pay taxes. You want to pay taxes on a nice gain, and especially with tax season just around the corner for especially last year, are you using that money to pay your last year taxes? And what are you going to do for this gain? Are you going to sell more shares next year? Because generally you don't really sell shares. Now, what about financial diversification, right? You are diversifying out of the banks. Why? Do you see some sort of trouble in the banking sector? So you want to pay taxes. Being in Wall Street, you like gains and keeping money, and you want to diversify. I don't know. You tell me. What do you guys think? So JP Morgan declined to comment Friday on Diamond selling beyond what was in the October filing. Silverman said that he expected Diamond to start selling near this time as the cooling off period for his trading plan recently lapsed. Though he was anticipating Diamond would dump shares more methodically rather than a giant sale. So here's another thing. Diamond sold almost a million shares. So he told you in advance that he's going to sell up to a million shares. And people thought that he would do this methodically. A lot of insiders, they do this methodically. But instead, he just hit a big sell order of about almost a million um, right off the start, right? Rather than pacing your sale over multiple days, weeks, months, and so on. So this was very interesting, according to Silverman. Other JP Morgan insiders also sold stocks on Thursday. Chief Information Officer dumped $700,000 in stock. Chief Information Officer. What is the Chief Information Officer? Do they have some sort of information that the public doesn't have? That's very interesting. General Counsel Stacy also sold 1.1 million. Troy, who serves as co-CEO of JP Morgan's commercial and investment bank, unloaded about 13.7 million in stock. Those sales also came through trading plans. They all got trading plans. All right, trading plans. These are sales of small fraction of their holdings and in accordance of the 10b5-1 selling programs, as JP Morgan spokesman said. Prior to Thursday, selling Diamond was a buyer of JP Morgan stock, last scooping up stocks on the open market in February 2016. So in 2016, there he was a buyer. Okay, Diamond's surprising selling behavior and the fact that he was a strong buying track record has a strong buying track record alongside the cluster of sales represent a cautious data point, right? So he had a history of a lot of strong buying, and now all of a sudden a massive sell. So why is there something to be worried about, guys? Is there something that the Dimester sees that other people don't? Do we see a 1979 kind of scenario? Let's go back to 1979, see what that looks like. I think it was 1979. We may have to look at 79. We have to look at. So around here, this was not much of a sell-off, but if you look at the 86, we had quite the sell-off there. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 real quick. So is there something big? Do people see, do these bankers see a very bad recession coming? Some sort of Great Depression maybe, because of everything that's been done. Okay. So here is, where is 1979? 1980s here. Okay, so maybe I got the dates wrong. But if you look at the 73, quite the sell-off there. I'm gonna have to circle back on this one, but quite the sell-off there, about 47%. We see 1980s, another 27% there. One second, let me find out. What year was I trying to look for? Oh, I'm sorry. I got it completely wrong. Okay, so not 79. I was trying to look for 1929. There we go. 1929, 1930. Uh-huh. 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 There we go. There we go. 1929. This is what I was trying to look for. So there you go. Does Jamie Dimon see a Great Depression kind of sell off, right? If you look at how the markets really riled up, right? Look how the markets just have this massive rally since 1921 all the way up, right? Kind of this parabolic 421% move to then just retrace all of that and drop 80%. Is Jamie Dimon worried about something like this, like the Great Depression coming? Is that why he's diversifying away maybe from the banks, right? And if we see similar action like the 1929, look at this. Nice parabolic move, more than the rally that we saw pre Great Depression, about almost 600%, right? Now let's go back to JP Morgan stock, right? 1929. Does it go back there? No, it doesn't. Okay. So that was a good example to see that if Jamie Dimon selling for the very first time, is there a worry? Is there something to be worried about? Does he see this being like the Great Depression? Now, I want to show you also another thing. Take a look at this here. Take a look at JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of Jamie Dimon, his buy and sells, right? And notice that his timing is perfect, right? In 2009 here, after the great financial crisis, he bought 500,000 shares for $11 million, right? And his gain happened to be 700%, right? In again 2012, he bought 235,000. That gain happened to be 430%. In 2016, he bought 500,000 shares. So he's been quite the buyer. And that gain happened to be around 243%. So he's been quite good if you look at it, timing the market, getting the lows, getting the lows, getting the lows. Obviously, because he runs one of the biggest banks out there. And all of a sudden, you see this red dot here, almost $1 million, which is almost close to all the accumulated buys that he's done in the past, right? From 2009 to 2016, all if you add all these together, it comes out to be about 1.235 million shares that he purchased over 2000 from 2009 to 2016. He basically did almost close these amounts, right? So he did 820,000 sales of shares, 150 million. So almost close to all of the shares that he purchased in the past in just one shot here. So $150 million, and that too for the first time ever. So why? Could it be his age? Could it be his retiring? Could it be diversification? Could it be taxes? Or could it be something bigger that Jamie Dimon is worried about? That if you look at the past recessions, even the dot-com time, which dot-com had to do more with the internet stocks and not the bank stocks, the dot-com time, the stock did also fall. The dot-com crash did also fall 70%. So does Jamie Dimon see that, getting ready for that, so he can use that money to buy the dip again and perfectly time the markets again and again and again? I don't know. You guys tell me. You guys let me know. Leave a comment below. Subscribe. Hit the like button, bell icon to be notified on the next video. And I'll see you guys around. Cheers. Bye.